Hello everyone. Namaste to all gadgeted officers, IS, IPS, doctors, surgeons. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are continuing with our weekly current affairs science and technology series, part 3, covering from 31st update onwards out of 65 important news. If you have not watched part 1 and part 2, I highly recommend you go and watch them first to complete your preparation. This series is especially designed for UPSC, BPSC, State PCS, SSC, SBI, IBPS, NDA, CDS, and other competitive exam aspirants. As I always believe, true success comes not from shortcuts. As I always believe, true success comes not from shortcuts but from consistent hard work and deep understanding. So, this is the reason I always explain in detail. I always prefer in teaching learning methods should be in detail. I do not believe in shortcut methods. Then in my about my upcoming videos on my channels are the next grammar video will be subject verb agreement part 2, very important for SSC, SBI, IBPS, UPSC, BPSC, other competitive exam. And in biology, tomorrow I will be uploading gastrointestinal tract part 5, where I will explain the pancreas anatomy and its exocrine function. And next video I will explain endocrine function of pancreas and diabetes, pancreas disorder, etc., which is especially for NEET, AIMS, UPSC, BPSC aspirants. Always remember, my dear aspirants, always remember, every small step you take today, every small step what you take today brings you closer to your big dream. It help you to come closer to your big dream tomorrow. So keep working hard, stay motivated, stay consistent, and success will follow. You will definitely crack your goal and achieve your ambition. Let's get started. News is India achieved 31st news is India achieves historic deep ocean dives in Atlantic. Deep ocean dives in Atlantic. So this news is from Atlantic. India reached a new milestone, a new breakthrough in ocean exploration. In ocean exploration, two Indian astronauts descended to depth of the depth is about approximately 4025 and 5202 meters in Atlantic Ocean. So it's a very big breakthrough, a new milestone India has achieved in ocean exploration. Two Indian astronauts descended to depth of approximately went to the depth of approximately 4025 and 5002 meters in the Atlantic Ocean. So this achievement help India places India among fewer than six nation uh, to explore such extreme depth of oceans, to explore about ocean depths. This expedition, this journey was part of an Indo-French collaboration. So this expedition, this achievements was part of collaboration between India and France, using the French submersible Nautil. Using the French submersible Nautil. So it is set the stage for India's upcoming Samudrayan mission. So it set the stage for India's upcoming mission is Samudrayan mission. Some because it's exploring about the ocean depth. So name of the mission is Samudrayan mission, which aims to reach approximately 6,000 meters below using the indigenous means India made submersible Matsya 6,000 by 2027. So that submersible is SEEP is Matsya 6,000. Matsya 6,000. What are the significance of this historic deep ocean dives in Atlantic to explore to get the knowledge about the extreme ocean depths? Significance are that these dives mark India's first journey beyond 4,000 meters ocean depth. So it demonstrates India's growing scientific and technological capabilities among six nations which have already done in deep ocean research. So this mission contribute to the understanding of deep sea environments and resource potential. So what is the main aim of this mission is to know about the environment of deep ocean sea and what are the resources are available in the deep ocean. So this success definitely boost India's global standing in marine exploration in deep exploration to know about the sea deep and support its goal of becoming a leading economy in exploring about such extreme ocean depths. There is a Indo-French collaboration, and this expedition was conducted with IFREMER, which is a French Marine Research Institute. Name of French Marine Research Institute is IFREMER. Indian astronauts boarded the Nautilus submersible from the research ship is Al Atlante near Portugal. So Indian astronauts boarded near the Nautilus submersible from the research ship, and the name is Atlante Al Atlante near Portugal. So these collaboration, Indo-French collaboration, provided valuable experiences in deep sea operation to acquire more knowledge about the deep sea environments and resource potential. So it also helped Indian scientists to gain expertise in piloting, sample collection from deep sea and managing submersible system. So such Indo-French partnership enhance knowledge transfer between these two countries, and it also encourages international scientific cooperation. So India dives deep. Samudrayan mission reaches approximately 5,002 meter in historic ocean feet, approximately depth close to 5,000 meters in North Atlantic Ocean. So two aquanauts from the National Institute of Ocean Technology. Two aquanauts from the National Institute of Ocean Technology. So this groundbreak event took place around the French deep submergence vehicle, and the name of that vehicle is Nautil, and it serves as an important step for Samudrayan mission. India's forthcoming deep ocean mission aims to deploy the indigenous Matsya India made Matsya 6,000 submersible to a depth of approximately 6,000 meter by the year December 2027 with the help of Matsya 6,000. What are the importance of Matsya 6,000 submersibles? India is now deciding by 2027. So the Matsya 6,000 is India's made deep sea human submersible. It is designed to reach approximately 6,000 meter deep under the sea with 12 hours operation endurance. It works on with 12 hours. The submersible includes advanced features like titanium hull, lithium polymer batteries are used, acoustic communication system, and emergency escape mechanism are also available in Matsya 6,000 submersible. So successful wait trials were completed in early 2025. Shallow water trials up to 5 meters are planned for 2026. So it's a Matsya 6,000 submersible water trials up to water trials up to 500 meters are planned for by the year 2026. And deep trials, deep ocean test and scientific mission will be conducted in the year 2027-28 by Matsaya 6,000 submersible, which is India's made submersible. See, what are the strategic importance of ocean resources? So India's a long coastline and vast exclusive economic zone provide access to rich marine resources. The Deep Ocean Mission aims to explore and utilize these resources sustainably. So, this includes deep sea mining of minerals at depth of approximately 4,000 to 5,500 meters, for which India has signed contracts with International Seabed Authority. So, India has signed contracts with International Seabed Authority. So this mission also focus on ocean climate change advisory services, and also in turn it helps in blue economy development, which is associated with the sea resources, marine resources, deep sea marine resources, blue economy development. Future prospects and national vision. This deep sea achievements complement India's space exploration successes. Together, they represent twin pillars of future economic growth. The government's harnessing ocean and space resources to elevate India's global economic rank in blue economy developments. The Samudrian mission and Deep Ocean mission reflect this vision with the help of Samudrian vision and Deep Ocean mission. So these all the future prospects showcase India's transition from follower to leader in high technology scientific domains. Next news is jellyfish swarms disrupt nuclear power plants worldwide. So jellyfish swarms disturb nuclear power plants worldwide. Recent incidents have brought into light that the growing challenges posed by jellyfish swarm to nuclear power plants. Jellyfish shut down many nuclear power plants recently because of major growth of jellyfish. Recently, France Gravelines nuclear power station temporarily shut down multiple reactors after jellyfish clogged its cooling system. So recently, France nuclear power station name is Gravelines. Temporarily shut down multiple reactors after jellyfish clogged in its cooling system. So this event is part of a rising trend where marine life disturbing critical infrastructure. So, understanding the causes and impact of this disturbance, disruption, destruction is important for energy security and to environment management also. How jellyfish affect nuclear power plants? Nuclear power plants totally depend on large volumes of seawater to cool reactors. So nuclear power plants are using nuclear reactors for cooling purpose. They are using seawater to cool it. Intake pipes draw water through grated screens, which is designed to keep out debris and aquatic life. So intake pipes draw water, take water through grated screens, which is designed to keep out debris from the industries, from the nuclear power plants and aquatic life. When millions of jellyfish are drawn in during blooms, and in blooms means increasing more blooms means there is a more increase in number of jellyfish. They clogs this screen rapidly, cool reactor screen. So this block water flow. So rising overheating of turbines, it leads to the, because it block water flow, so in turn it rises, increase in overheating of turbines, condenser and boilers also, because it helps, because nuclear power plant depend totally on large volume of seawater to cool its equipment like turbines, condenser, and boilers. To avoid damage, plants must shut down reactors until the blockage is cleared. So removing jellyfish is really difficult and hazardous, sometimes taking up it to approximately 2 to 2 days. To 2 days. So jellyfish related shutdown have increased due to many environmental factors. Factors are what are the environmental factors which is reason for this jellyfish related shutdown in nuclear reactors? It Because of global warming raising the ocean temperature, boosting plant plankton population, boosting increase in plankton population in sea, and the main jellyfish food also. The jellyfish food is increasing. So warm water also speed up and boost, improve, and give the environment for jellyfish reproduction. So in this way, jellyfish bloom take place, increase in number of jellyfish take place in seawater because of global warming. Overfishing removes natural jellyfish predators like tuna and sea turtles, allowing jellyfish numbers to grow unchecked. Overfishing, there is a overfishing also which is removing natural jellyfish predators like tuna and sea turtles. So it also help in allowing jellyfish numbers to grow, which is unchecked. Plastic pollution is also another reason for rising jellyfish incidents. Plastic pollution, so it is blocking oxygen level in seawater, and artificial breeding sites near coastline, so it creates plastic pollution, creates low oxygen zones and artificial breeding sites near coastlines, so further helping jellyfish reproduction, increase in size, proliferation. What are the implication? Jellyfish increase in number because of all the environmental reason. So this jellyfish blooms threaten both, not only threatening marine ecosystem but energy infrastructure also. Power station shutdown cause economic losses and disrupt electricity supply also. It disturb electricity supply also. So it is given by the nuclear power plants. So it causes economic losses and disrupt electricity supply. So this rising frequency of such events reflect broader ocean health issue linked to climate change and pollution. So this rising frequency reflecting, then there is a climate change and pollution. So nuclear plants near coastal waters face increasing vulnerability from these natural yet amplified phenomena. So natural plants which are present nearby the ocean facing these problems, and these are the natural problem, and yet amplified phenomena means the increase in this aquatic organism take place like jellyfish. So what are the mitigation strategies? Addressing jellyfish disruption requires innovative methods. So improved intake screening technology, with the help of improved intake screening technology, it can reduce jellyfish clogging risk with the help of improved intake screening technology. Third one is to monitor jellyfish population and increase in bloom means increase in jellyfish population. Bloom forecast help prepare plants for potential shutdown. So monitoring jellyfish population and bloom forecast also be provided that to prepare nuclear plant for potential shutdowns. Next mitigation process is to reduce overfishing and reduce pollution, can restore ecological balance and limit and reduce jellyfish growth. So climate action to curb ocean warming remains critical to controlling jellyfish blooms long term. So there is an immediate urgency to curb ocean warming, hotter condition to control jellyfish growth long terms. Bloom's long term. Next news is simplified two-tier GST system proposed. Two-tier GST system proposed. The center has proposed a simplified good and services tax system with two main slabs, standard and merit. So center has proposed a simplified goods and service tax system with two main slabs. Slabs are standard and merit. This reform aims to replace the existing four slabs. The four slabs are 5%, 12%, 18%, and 28%. This proposal was sent to group of minister for review. The move is part of next generation good and services tax reform promised by Prime Minister to be revealed by Diwali 2025. So these reform are expected to provide relief to the common man. So this reform are expected that it will provide tax relief to especially to the common man and support small and medium enterprises. About GST proposed GST changes. The new GST system will be have two broad slabs. The standard slab will cover most goods and services. The merit slab will apply to essential and socially important items. So special rates will be maintained only for a few selected goods. Points should be noted. Special rates will be maintained only for a few selected goods. This simplification aims to reduce confusion, to reduce disputes to related to tax classification. So it also addresses inverted duty structure where input tax is higher than output tax, encouraging domestic production. So aim is to encourage domestic production. It's a new two-tier GST system focus on affordability and inclusivity also. This reform targets affordability for common citizen, including women, students, farmers, and the middle class people. By lowering such rates on essential and aspirational goods, the government hopes to improve consumption and make products more accessible. So this will help stimulate economic activity and also support sectoral expansion across the country. So correction of inverted duty structures. Inverted duty structure cause businesses to accumulate input tax credits that cannot be offset. The proposed reforms aim to align input and output tax rates to prevent these issues. So it will reduce financial stress on manufacturers and promote value addition within the domestic economy. About tax rate stability and predictability, the government is planning to provide long term clarity on GST rates and policies. It is a main plan to provide long term clarity on GST rates and policy. So, it will build confidence among businesses and help them plan better. Stable tax rates will also reduce frequent litigation and disputes over classification and rates. Technology driven compliance and ease of doing business, it will also promote. So this reform includes seamless, easy, technology-enabled registration process. Registration process is totally technology-based, especially for small businesses and startups. Pre-filled GST returns will also reduce manual errors and mismatches. So these are the benefits. Reduce manual errors and mismatches by with the help of pre-filled GST returns. Refunds will be processed faster and automatically, particularly for exporters and those affected by inverted duty structures. So GST, it has been long pending issue to streamline all the different types of indirect taxes, implement a single taxation system. So GST is the abbreviated form of good and services tax. The main expectation from the system is to remove, to abolish all indirect taxes, and only GST would be levied. So, as the name suggests, the GST will be levied both on goods and services. So, GST was first introduced during 2007-8 budget session. On 17 December 2014, the current Union Cabinet Ministry approved the proposal for introduction of GST Constitutional Amendment Bill. On 19 December 2014, the bill was presented on GST in Lok Sabha. The bill will be taken and tabled and taken up discussion during the coming budget session. So GST is a tax that we need to pay on supply and good services. The current central government is very determined to implement GST constitutional amendment bill. Any person who is providing or supplying goods and services is liable to charge GST. So how is GST applied? GST is a consumption which is based on tax or levy. So it is based on the destination principle. It is applied on goods and services at the place where final and actual consumption happens. So GST is collected on value added goods and services at its stage of sale or purchase in the supply chain. It is paid on the procurement of goods and services, and it can be set off against that payable on the supply of goods or services. The manufacturer or wholesalers or retailers will pay the applicable GST rate, but will claim back through tax credit mechanism. So they will claim back again through the tax credit mechanism. But being the last person in the supply chain, the end consumer has to bear this tax, and so in many respects, GST is like a last point retail tax. So GST is going to be collected at point of sale. So GST rate levied on manufacturer, wholesaler, retailer, consumer. So these are the GST supplying chains. Understand the supply chain of GST with an example. Given here, a weaver sell a fabric to a tailor for 108 per meter. GST flow. The weaver pays GST of rupees 8 to input cost X GST 0. Sell price 100 and GST collected at 8 rupees. Same, the tailor sells a ready-made completed shirt to a retailer for rupees 270. GST flow. The tailor pays GST of rupees 12 after input tax claim. Weaver's claim tax credit for rupees 8 and input cost become 100 and sale price 250 and GST collected 12. So these are the method of the weaver, tailor, retailer. And your purchase, retailer sell the ready-made shirt in his showroom for rupees 540. The retailer pays GST of rupees 20 after input tax claim. Tailor's claim tax credit for rupees 12. So rupees 250. Sale price rupees 500 and GST collected 20. So you purchase at the shirt for rupees 540. No tax credit claim. Your pay entire GST for rupees 40 at the rate 8%. So these are about the supply chain of GST with one example. So the current tax structure does not allow a business person to take tax credits. There are a lot of chances that double taxation takes place at every step of supply chain. So this may set to change with the implementation of GST. So India government is opting for dual system of GST. This system will have two components, which will known as Central Good and Service Tax, which is called CGST. Second one is the State Good and Service Tax, SGST. So the current taxes like excise duty, service tax, custom duty, etc., will be merged under CGST. The taxes like sales tax and entertainment tax, VAT, and other taxes will be included in State Good and Services tax. So how is GST levied? GST will be levied on the place of consumption of goods and services. So it can be levied on intrastate supply and consumption of goods and services, interstate movement of goods, import of goods and services. So the in direct tax, excise duty, service tax, custom duty, central sales tax, GSC, it is come under central good and services. Then state sales tax, entertainment tax, state VAT, personal tax, it's come under state good and services tax. So goods services produced consumed in same states, CGST plus SGST rate plus levied. So goods, services and produce consumed in different states, integrated GST, good and service produce, CST not applicable. So good and services imported rate, this one is levied, CGST and SGST rate levied. So benefits of GST will implementation. What are the benefits? The tax structure will be made lean and simple. The entire Indian market will be unified market, which will translate into lower business costs. It will also facilitate easy movement of good across state and reduce the transaction cost of businesses. It is good for export-oriented businesses also. In the long run, the lower tax burden could translate into lower prices on goods for consumer. The supplier, manufacturers, wholesaler, retailers are able to recover GST incurred on input cost as tax credits. So it reduces the cost of doing businesses, thus helping fairer prices for consumer. It can bring more transparency and better compliance. So number of departments, tax department will reduce, which in turn may lead to less corruption. So more businesses entities will come under the tax system, thus widening the tax base. This may lead to better and more tax revenue collection. Companies which are under unorganized sector will come under tax regime. So these are about. So there are a four-tier GST tax slabs have been decided by the Finance Ministry. Below are the detail: zero tax rates, 5% tax slab, 18% under the GST regime. So zero tax rates, they won't be any tax on almost 50% of item in the consumer price index basket, including grains used by the common people. 5% tax slabs applicable on item of mass consumption used by common people. There would be two standard rates of 12% and 80% under the GST regime. All the items, especially luxury items, which are now taxed at around 30%, will fall under 28% GST rate slab. An additional cess would be also be levied on luxury cars, so tobacco products and aerated drinks beside the highest tax rates. Tobacco products and aerated drinks beside the highest tax rate, that is 28%. So the tax rate proposal will now be placed in parliament for its approval. So GST simplified tax is given about the lower transaction, increased compliance, higher operating cost, and reduced tax burden. These are the streamline for tax compliance. So there are challenges also. The bill is yet to be tabled and passed in the parliament. It is still now not passed in the parliament. To implement the bill has to be a lot of changes at administration level. GST being a consumption based tax, states with higher consumption of goods and services will have better revenue. So the cooperation from state government would be one of the key factors for the successful implementation of GST. Since GST replaces many cascading taxes, the common man may benefit after implementing it, but it all depends on what rate the GST is going to be fixed at. Also, some trades based on annual business turnover may be exempted from it. So, France, points should be noted, France was the first country to introduce this system in 1954. Nearly 140 countries are following this GST tax system. GST could be the next biggest tax reform in India. GST could be the next biggest tax reform in India. So this reform could be a continuing process until it is fully evolved. We need to wait few more months for more details on good and services tax system. Next news is the India-US trade tension. India-US trade tension over Russian oil imports. You all are knowing very well. So the ongoing trade disputes between India and United States have increased. The United States imposed a 25% penalty tariff on Indian goods due to India's continued import of Russian oil. This is the reason only. India is continuously importing Russian oil. So United States imposed a 25% penalty tariff on Indian goods. These came under this came after Field Free Trade Organization negotiation and earlier reciprocal tariffs by the United States. India has yet to retaliate officially but faces economic and diplomatic challenges. So this came under Failed Free Trade Agreement negotiation. This negotiation, FTA negotiation, then when failed, this India has yet to retaliate officially, discuss officially, and but India faces economic and diplomatic challenges. Background of United States tariffs on India. On August 6, the United States announced a 25% penalty tariff targeting Indian import linked to Russian oil purchases, especially linked to Russian oil purchases. This followed a 25% reciprocal tariff imposed on Indian goods from August 7 and after FTA talks collapsed, after free trade agreement negotiation collapsed. not taken place positively. So this tariff aims to pressurize India to reduce its Russian oil imports and Western sanction on Russia. It is the main reason that the US is pressurizing India to reduce its Russian oil imports and Western sanction on Russia. So the penalty tariffs will take effect from August 27. India's response to United, what India is responded to United States tariffs, India criticized the United States and European Union for selectively targeting its Russian oil imports while continuing their own trade with Russia. The Minister of External Affairs called the United States action is unfair and vowed to protect national interest. Prime Minister expressed readiness to bear personal cost to safeguard farmers and producers affected by trade tension. India has not announced direct retaliatory tariffs so far. India has not till now not announced direct retaliatory tariffs so far. So India is dependent on Russian oil. So India Russian oil imports surged after the Ukraine war began in 2022. By mid 2023, Russia supplied over 35% of India's crude oil, making it the largest supplier. Indian companies benefit from discounted Russian crude, saving billions people annually saving billions annually. Investment also link Indian firms with Russian oil production and refining, help in deepening economic ties between India and Russia. Reducing imports would hurt India economically and politically. What are the potential for resolution? United States President Trump's planned meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin on August 15 may influence tariff policies. The United States has allowed tariff modification if Russia makes move to end the Ukraine conflict. Meanwhile, United States negotiation will visit India later in August to explore a possible mini trade deal. India faces a difficult choice between market access concession and continuing Russian oil imports. What are impact on India-US relation? The dispute states a relationship built over decades through defense, technology, and strategic cooperation. So India's refusal to halt Russian oil imports contrasts with its earlier compliance with United States demands on Iranian oil. Diplomatic efforts continue with visits by Indian officials to Moscow and planned meeting with United States counterparts. So these are the impact on India-US relation. The outcome will affect broader geopolitical alignments, including the Quad and SEO summits. About broader implication, the tariffs disturb Indian exports, especially garments, as United States buyers shift to competitors with lower tariffs. India's strategic autonomy is tested amid global power rivalries. The balancing act involves maintaining ties with Russia, maintaining relationship with Russia, managing United States relation, and securing energy needs. So this dispute marks challenges in global trade, in global trade challenges in global trade linked to geopolitical conflicts, geopolitical tension, and sanction regimes. Next news about the merit scheme. The Union Cabinet approved the merit scheme to enhance technical education across India. It's a very important scheme. The name of the scheme is the merit schemes to improve technical education across India, vocational education, skill education across India. So it targets approximately 275 government and government aided institutions, including engineering colleges, polytechnic, and technical university. So 275 government aided institution, including engineering colleges, polytechnics, and technical universities. So this scheme aligning with the NEP 2020, which aims to improve quality, equity, governance, holistic development in technical education. Merit scheme is for abbreviation of multidisciplinary education and research improvement in technical education. M, multidisciplinary. E, education. R, research and research. I, improvement. T, technical education. So merit means multidisciplinary education and research improvement in technical education scheme is a central sector initiative to enhance technical education across India. It is a budget of rupees 4,200 crore for 2025-26 to 2029 up to 29-30. 2029 to 30. Half of the funding is rupees 2,100 crore comes from as a Bank loan. So half of the funding, that is a rupees 2,100 crore. The full budget is 4,200 crore. Half budget 2,100 crore comes as a World Bank loan. This scheme covers all states and union territories, which is focusing on government engineering institution, polytechnic, and affiliating technical university to improve technical education. It is the main ambition of merit scheme. So objectives and key benefits: to boost the quality and inclusivity of technical education, to promote digitalization, multidisciplinary programs in different languages and different skill to be taught, and research innovation. Around 7.5 lakh students will benefit through this enhanced learning and employability skill. It also supports faculty development, staff development, gender equity, and improved governance in technical institutions. So it will include selected National Institute of Technology, NIT, state engineering institutions, polytechnics, and affiliating technical universities, ATUs. Apart from this, a state or union territory department handling the technical education sector will also be supported through the merit scheme. So these are the sectors which are benefited through the merit scheme to enhance technical education across India. Implementation and strategy: the scheme will be implemented via a central nodal agency. So the scheme has been formulated in collaboration with the World Bank. It is a central sector scheme which will be implemented in government engineering institution and polytechnics in state and union territories to improve the quality, governance in technical education aligned with the NAP 2020. Funding is 4,200 crore, so half funding will be come from World Bank as loan. It will have the facility of fund transfer from the central government to participate entities through a central nodal agency. Collaboration with premier bodies such as IITs, IIMs, AICTE, and NBA will ensure effective execution. State and union territory department will also receive supports to strengthen local technical education ecosystem. About employability and skill development, it will definitely improve employability and skill developments. It includes curriculum updates aligned with industry needs, internship increase, faculty training is also enhanced, research hub, incubation center, skill labs, language workshop will be established with this merit scheme. This aim to increase placement rate also. uh, Reduce graduate help in reducing graduate unemployment in technical fields. So key intervention include offering internship opportunities, updating curricula to align with industry requirements, organizing faculty development programs, and setting up research hubs. So additionally, support will be provided to incubation and innovation centers, skill and market labs, and language workshops. So next news is Tendong Loho Ramfat. Tendong Loho Ramfat. Sikkim. It's a news from Sikkim. Tendong Loho Ramfat. Sikkim recently celebrated Tendong Loho Ramfat, which is a traditional festival of the Lepcha tribes. This event honors the legend of Tendong Hill, which Tendong Hill saved the Lepcha ancestor from an ancient flood. Chief Minister Prem Singh of Sikkim attended the state level celebration at Manan Kendra, Gangtok. He urged people to respect nature and protect Sikkim's environments. The festival is a reminder of Lepcha community's spiritual bond with nature and their cultural heritage. Tendong Lohoram Fath commemorates an ancient flood that threatened the Lepcha people. So, according to oral tradition, not in written, oral tradition, Tendong Hill rose above the flood waters, providing refuge to survivors. The hill is believed to have volcanic origin linked to eruption that caused the dilge by destroying the sources of Tista and Rangit rivers. So, Lepcha mythology says the hill emerged from the horns of this hill emerged from the horns of a deity, symbolizing divine protection. It means it is getting divine protection. Significance of Tendong Loho Ramfate. Tendong Hill is scared to the Lipcha tribe. Its name means the hill of the raised horn in the Lipcha language. The hill is seen as a protector and a symbol of survival, symbolizing divine protection. So Lipcha gather on and around gather on and around the hill during the festival to offer prayers to Id Burum, then their god, and to honor their natural landmark that saved their ancestor. Rituals and celebration is also there. They perform traditional dances and wear masks. Cultural programs, singing, dancing, exhibition were happen. Community and environmental message is given. So it serve as a reminder of environmental's role in human survival. So Tandog Lohoram Fat promotes environmental awareness alongside cultural preservation. About geographical and cultural context, Tendon Hing is located in South Sikkim. This festival is celebrated in various parts of the state where Lepcha communities resides. The event draws participation from cultural organization, government official and locals. So it showcases the rich tradition and history of Sikkim's indigenous people. Next news, Supreme Court intervenes in Banke Bihari Temple of Ordinance dispute. Supreme Court intervenes in Bake Bihari Temple ordinance dispute. The Supreme Court of India recently intervened in the legal dispute concerning the Uttar Pradesh Sri Bake Bihari Ji Temple Trust Ordinance 2025. So this controversy arose over the state government's attempt to take administrative control of historic Bake Bihari Temple in Vrindavan. So this controversy arose over the state government's attempt to take administrative control of historic Bake Bihari Temple in Vrindavan. The apex court expressed displeasure, not happy at the Allahabad's High Court handling of the public interest litigation related to the ordinance. So it stayed further proceedings and questioned the use of harsh language against the state government by the High Courts. So background the about the Uttar Pradesh government promulgated the ordinance to create a stationary trust for managing the Bake Bihari temples. So it was aimed at improving temple administration, using temple funds for development, including acquiring land around the temple for corridor projects. So about the Supreme Court's reaction to Allahabad High Court orders, the Supreme Court bench of Justice Suryakant and Joy Malia Bakchi reviewed the July and August orders of a single judge bench of Allahabad High Court. The High Court has issued single criticism against the UP government, accusing it of committing a sin by passing the ordinance and interfering with temple affairs. So it is not acceptable. The Supreme Court stayed though these observations and stayed further proceedings before the High Court. So it is directed the High Court to list all related petition before a division bench for more balancing hearing. So modification on May 15 judgments, the modification intends to protect the rights of existing stakeholders and prevent the ordinance from affecting them adversely. There are interim management and safety concern also. This committee would be led by the retired High Court judge and include local officials such as district collector and temple Goswami. The court emphasized preventing incident like 2022 stampede during Janmashtami celebration, denoting the need for better crowd and law enforcement management around the temple. About government development plan and opposition, they compare the development plans to simpler project in Ayodhya and Kasi. Same similar project in Ayodhya and Kasi. So, however, the current temple management and some petitioners contested allegation of fund mismanagement, and oppose the state's takeover efforts. Next news is Karnataka Cabinet approves key legislative bill 2025. The Karnataka State Cabinet recently approved 18 bills ahead of joint legislative session in 2025. This law covers a broad spectrum of social reform, urban governance, environmental regulation, and administrative efficiency. They aim to modernize governance frameworks and addresses long-standing social issue in the state. About Greater Bengaluru Amendment Bill 2025, that is this amendment bill the state election commission to prepare electoral rolls for city corporation election to streamline election process. The bill facilitate early completion of voter list to ensure timely and transparent municipal election in Bengaluru. About Karnataka Devadasi Bill 2025, prevention, prohibition, relief, and rehabilitation, replacing the 1982 Act. This comprehensive legislation addresses the exploitation of Devdasi women and their children. It provides relief, rehabilitation, and empowerment measure. A key provision allows children of Devdasis to omit their father's name on official documents, enabling them to use their own or their mother's name itself. The bill also contemplates recognizing paternal identity through DNA testing if desired. This law aims to end social stigma, social injustice, and ensure dignity for Devdasi family. So, Karnataka groundwater regulation, other bill is given about that. Karnataka compliance bill, given significance of this is multidimensional approach. Next news is India joint doctrines for cyberspace and amphibious operation. India's joint doctrine for cyberspace and amphibious operation. India's Chief of Defense Staff General Anil Chauhan formally released declassified joint doctrine for cyberspace operation and amphibious operation. So India's joint doctrine for cyberspace and amphibious operation, it help in improving transparency, it help in promoting wider understanding of integrated war fighting concepts. So this doctrine provide a unified framework for the Indian Air Forces to operate cohesively across multiple domains. So it help in modernizing defense capabilities and strengthening joint operation among the three forces: Army, Navy, and Air Force. So it is known as the India's joint doctrine for cyberspace and amphibious operation among the Army, Navy, and Air Force. Overview of joint doctrine for cyberspace operation. Cyberspace is a global domain comprising interconnected networks, communication system, and data infrastructure. So it functions as a critical operational environment where information flows and military activities occur. So, this doctrine outlines a combined offensive and defensive cyber strategy which stresses threat informing planning, real time intelligence sharing, and resilience. So, the doctrine promotes synchronized cyber operation across all services. Key components of cyberspace operation: defensive cyber operation, offensive cyber operation, cyber intelligence and reconnaissance, cyber support operation, resilience and recovery system. And what are the joint doctrine for amphibious operation? Amphibious operation involve coordinated military action launched from the sea using naval, air, and land forces. So, amphibious operation establishes a framework for planning and executing these operations. It marks interoperability among three services and rapid response capability with the help of naval, air, and land forces. So, amphibious operation enable help in flexible missile profiles, including combat, humanitarian, humanitarian assistance, and disaster relief. So this link over coastal and island territories, linking maritime land objectives. So these are about the joint doctrine for amphibious operation. Strategic significance of these doctrines. So it acts as a force multipliers by integrating cyber capabilities with conventional warfare. It reduces tri-service joints when three services jointness reduces duplication and improves operational efficiency. This framework prepares India's forces for hybrid warfare involving simultaneous cyber, sea, and land threats. So these are the important significance of these joint doctrines. These serve as a diplomatic signal showcasing India's defense readiness and technological advancement. About the future development in defense doctrines, this will provide common lexicon and guidelines for planner and policy makers. This aim to maintain India's edge in contemporary and niche war fighting domains. So, the Chief of Defense Staff has initiated the development of doctrines in emerging areas such as military space operation, special force operation, airborne, heliborne operation, integrated logistic, and multi-domain operation. Next news is Dardanelles Strait. Dardanelles Strait. News from Turkey. Dardanelles Straits. Turkey recently suspended all shipping traffic through the Dardanelles Strait due to existing extensive forest fire in Kanakkale province. There was extensive forest fire in the Kanakkale province. So Turkey recently suspended all shipping traffic passing through the Dardanelles Strait. The Ministry of Transport announced a temporary closure affecting the usual flow of about 100 ships daily because of extensive forest fire in Kanakkale province. So this event marks the strait's ongoing strategic and environmental significance. About the Dardanelles Strait, Dardanelles Strait is a narrow strait in northwestern Turkey. It connects the Aegean Sea to the Sea of Marmara. The strait lies between the Gallipoli Peninsula in Europe and the Asian mainland of Anatolia. Its depth averages 55 meters with a maximum of 90 meters in the narrowest part. So, Dardanelles Strait features a surface current flowing from the Sea of Marmara to the Asian and a undercurrent moving in the opposite direction. What are the strategic and economic importance? The Dardanelles form part of the Turkish states along the Bosporus. These states link the Mediterranean and Aegean Sea to the Black Sea. This route is important for maritime trade and naval passage. Important ports on the state, and these important ports is Gallipoli, Bates, Kanakkale. So the waters are rich in fish species migrating between ships. Historical significance is also there. It features in Greek mythology through the legend of hero and Leander. Alexander the Great followed in 334 BCE. The state was a focal point in many conflicts, including World War I, when elite force attempted to siege control. So its historical significance, strategic position as a gateway to Istanbul and the Black Sea has shaped international politics. About in recent environmental and recent crises, recently severe forest fires seen or happened near Serikeli village, which is the reason of closure of this strait. The fire spread rapidly, very fastly from agricultural land into forest. Emergency services evacuated a care home and university campus nearby. Weather warnings forecast strong winds which could worsen the fires. The closure disturbed maritime traffic and raised concern about environmental damage and economic impact. Next news is FAO food price index increases. The FAO food price index increased to 130.1 points in July 2025. The rise of 1.6% from June was mainly due to high international prices of meat and vegetable oils. So, despite this month growth, the index remained 18.8% below its March It is, however, 7.6% above July 2024 levels. What is FAO and Food Price Index? Uh, FFPI Food Price Index measure monthly price changes of a basket of globally traded food commodity. So it is weighted average of five commodity groups: cereals, dairy, meat, vegetable oils, and sugar. So the weight reflects average export share from 2014 to 16, and it helps monitor global food price trends and assess market condition. So it is a specialized agency of United States nation that leads international efforts to defeat hunger and improve nutrition and food security. Its FAO Food Price Index main goal is to achieve food security for all people and make sure that people have regular access to enough high quality food and to lead healthy lives. Member consists of 195 members, 194 countries and the European Union. FAO works in over 130 countries worldwide. Cereal price index, recently the FAO cereal price index averaged 106.5 points, down 0.8% from June. Wheat and sorghum prices fell due to fresh harvest in the northern hemisphere and ample supplies. Maize and barley prices rose slightly, supported by dry condition in part of Eastern Europe and reduced export from Argentina and Brazil. Seasonal harvest and regional weather patterns influence these all movements. Vegetable oil price index also increased sharply by 7.1% to 166.8 points, reaching a 3-year high. Palm, soya, and sunflower oil also increases, which is driven by strong global demand and tightening export supplies. Palm oil gained from better price competitiveness. Soya oil was boosted by expected biofuel demand in the America. Sunflower oil prices climbed due to limited supply from Black Sea region. Rapeseed oil prices decline, reduced with new European crop arrivals. About meat price index hit record high. Meat price index reached an all-time high of 1 to 7.3 points, up to 1.2% from June. So bovine and ovine meat prices increased sharply due to strong demand from China, USA, Brazil. Poultry prices also increased slightly following Brazil's recovery from avian influenza. Pig meat prices fell mainly in the European Union due to ample supplies and weak demand. Dairy and sugar price movements, the dairy price index slightly reduced by 0.1% to 155.3 points. Butter and milk powder prices dropped due to abundant supply and subdued demand, especially in Asia. Cheese price continued to rise. Sugar price index fell by 0.2% to 103.3 points. So, what are the implications? It reflects complex interaction of supply, demand, weather, and geopolitical factors. Rising meat and vegetable oil prices contrast with declines in cereals, dairy, and sugar. These shifts affect food security, trade balances, and inflammation in importing countries. Monitoring such indices is important for policymakers and stakeholders to anticipate market changes and respond effectively. So these are about the current affairs. Next series we will continue with the remaining news. Thanks for watching. Stay consistent. Best of luck for your forthcoming exam. Thank you for watching.